and welcome to Griefclass. As always, if a loss is new to you or if you are finding yourself really struggling, it is nothing to be embarrassed about to seek some help. And so below you will see the suicide hotline number and also some links to some different counseling. Please don't let money or anything stand in your way of getting the help you need. So on today's episode, I wanted to talk about a podcast that I listened to this week, and I wasn't really ready for it to touch me so much or to be so close to my own experience. I was going on a road trip to help my mom, who did lose her husband recently, and I'm going to help her move down closer to all of us here in Wyoming. So I had about an 18-hour drive, and I just went through and downloaded tons of podcasts that looked good. And to be honest, I'm to the point now I have to kind of be in the mood to listen to a lot of things about grieving. I can do one a day or some little thing, but I don't really spend an 18-hour road trip just grief stuff, how to manage your grief, because it's too much. It just it'll make me feel depressed or have some depression set in. But this one, I was scrolling by and it was on a podcast called This Is Actually Happening. And the podcast itself is about things that people go through, kind of unbelievable things. It has all different kinds of topics. It's not anything that's inherently about grief. But I just happened to scroll down, and episode number 225 was called What If You Stared Into the Abyss? And I read briefly that it had something to do with grief, and I thought, I should listen to that, just see if it's something that, would be interesting, maybe more for even the YouTube channel is why I was doing it. But boy, this man, he had 2 deaths in this podcast. One was as a child, and then one was as an adult. And I don't want to ruin it. I really hope you'll take the time to go listen to it. Again, it's the podcast called This Is Actually Happening, number 225. I've posted the link below. And so Frank, in this story, suffers a bunch of losses, kind of from childhood. Then he kind of thinks, okay, I've recovered my life, life's good. And then he just gets hit again. And it spoke to me so much because especially the first time he had some judgment about someone else and the loss that they went through versus how he was handling it and how he thought they should handle it. And then when he had this other loss as an adult, he looked back and it just opened his eyes to grief and how different people grieve, how hard it is to dig yourself out of a deep grief, and especially a compound grief. He had lost his job due to some of the grief he was going through as an adult. And I think it's about 40, 50 minutes long. It's just a very good podcast to kind of, I guess, if nothing else, just make you realize that you're not alone. I don't know what else to say except that I think it really brings out better than any story I've ever heard about the struggle to regain your life and your foothold. And that's kind of where I'm at on this YouTube channel. And that's kind of the whole basis for why I make these videos, is because even though I don't feel like my grief was as bad as maybe some people, I never have myself felt a true depression. I've been down and I've been kind of like, what am I going to do now? And I've sought counseling just to get myself back on track. But I've never felt like life was hopeless and there was no way out for me. I've never gotten to that depth, but I have felt like he has, where just so many things happen at once and you're like, how can this be? Like, I've already had this kind of difficult life, in his case. And then now here we are again, and all these losses and how you kind of rebuild your life. And so I just hope you'll listen to it. I don't want to give away the story because I really feel like just hearing it from him is really good. And he's someone that in the future, once I learn how to interview someone and actually post that either on Zoom or do a YouTube live or something, once I am technologically able to do that, then he is someone that I might reach out to and just ask if he'd be willing to come on, because I feel like he was so articulate in his story. The only criticism I have, or it's not even a criticism, it's just sad to me, is that his faith changed throughout all of these events, and you can see why. As someone who's involved in their church, I had disappointments in the way that people treated me, the philosophies that they had about grief, the way that they felt I should just be over it and be done, and there were people who kind of left me behind too. And so I can see where that could really make you feel like that the church wasn't doing what it should. And he talks about that too. He talks about, did this church that he had given so much to, did it serve him when he was desperate? And it wasn't even that he was angry at that church because of the way they treated him. It just made him not want to give his time or money to something that wasn't going to help the next person down the line. And in that sense, I didn't have that bad of an experience. I had individuals kind of let me down, I guess you would say, or surprise me at how ignorant they were about grief. But the church as a whole, and the church, people who were church, not even necessarily from my church, but just people who went to church and were Christians, in my case, they did come out of the woodwork to support me and help me, and still do at some level. So I was disappointed of his experience, that he had to go through that on top of everything, and my heart hurts. I wish he would try again with a good church that does meet the needs of people when they're hurting. Sorry, my cat and dog are having a cat fight in the background. So if you heard the cat meow, the cat keeps chasing her, and then they run around. And anyway, I don't know what they're fighting about, but I will go find out. So anyway, again, take time. I think it will really be insightful. Hey, Frodo. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Come say hi. Come in. Come here. Come say hi. I guess I might as well just show you my ornery dog here. Here's Frodo. He really is a good boy. He's just 2.5 years old, but he doesn't have any puppy friends except for doggy dates that we get. And we have a lot of family members with dogs. So 2 or 3 times a week he has sorry, now I can't reset my camera. Sorry, I'm a newbie at all this here. This is real life, right, guys? So, yeah, let's see, was it yesterday or this morning? I think it was yesterday. I was just trying to do my, live life, and like the milkshake thing I made, my protein shake, it overflowed and went all over. And then I tried to get a Dr. Pepper. I like that cream soda and Dr. Pepper, and I tried to get one of those out of the fridge downstairs, but I guess it had gotten really cold, so there was like ice in the bottom. So when I popped the tab, I drank a couple sips with my straw out of the can, and then I walked away and it had just gone everywhere. So yesterday was a day of cleaning up chocolate protein shake and cleaning up sticky Dr. Pepper that ended up going all over the floor. And, it was just one of those days. And, I mean, after you lose a child, right, you got to laugh about these little things, because they don't mean a thing compared to what most of us have been through, if you're listening to my channel. But Frank talks about some of those things too, like how it just seemed to jump on and more things, and then how the little things would bother him. And so watch that, and I hope it touches you like it does me. I hope his story makes you feel less alone. I hope his story lets you know that the feelings that you're having and the struggle that you may be having, I hope you're not. I hope you're different than me. I hope that you had a very strong faith, that if your loved one died, then you just put it all in perspective and you just kind of moved forward very quickly. I wish that was my story, and I wish that it was Frank's story, but I know from the feedback I get from this channel and just from knowing other people that it's not always that way. And especially there's a person in his story, not him, but another person who never got over it. and how that affected everyone around them. So please listen to that. Make sure that, to the best of your ability, that we realize the impact that our grief can have on others, that the way we work or don't work on our grief can affect generations, literally generations. So I can't compel you to do this work. I can't compel you to put the time in to slowly and systematically have that good life that I talked about on yesterday's video. Not the good life you had over here, but the good life over here. I can't tell you how important it is, and it's not really about you. I can't tell you how selfish of a decision it can be to stay where you're at. Now, it doesn't mean that a month, 2 months, even a few years after you go through a loss, that you should worry about what other people think or worry about necessarily the impact that you might have. But I do feel like that for your own sake and for many, many other people, that if you can move slowly, no matter how slow it takes you, over to this side where you can be like Frank and like I am. We have very happy lives. We're very contented, very blessed, happy to get up every day. I laugh and smile all the time. And my heart hurts watching people who haven't gotten there or can't get there. And you'll see Frank's struggle. You've heard about mine off and on. It's not something that is a condemnation if you're not there yet, or if you are just feeling like you'll never get there, because I still wake up and feel like this person that I am today, where I'm happy and it's a beautiful rain outside and I'm doing great, that person can disappear, and I can really, really struggle at times. So, there is no condemnation in not being there yet, or in taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. There's no condemnation in that. But I just want this for you. I want it so bad for you. I want where Frank is to happen to you. I want where I'm at to happen to you. And this is a very inspirational story. So I hope you'll follow that link below. Thanks, and have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.